What's going on, everybody? This is Michael 11 Freedom. I know it's been a while since I've been live on channels such as YouTube or Instagram, but I've been basically on Facebook basically every day. We all, for those who know. I had some people to reach out to me and ask me, "Hey, man, what's going on with your YouTube channel? I ain't seen you on YouTube, or are you still blogging on your YouTube channel or whatever?" You probably seen that I do put a few things on YouTube, mostly shorts. And if we out venturing, I may put a video here and there. But I normally would share it more on my Puda Vida channel. Let me check, see if I got volume. I didn't even check. Okay, I got volume. Okay, just wanted to check that. But I normally would do it on my Puda Vida channel instead of my Love and Freedom, because the Puda Vida channel is more, I've kind of branched off a little bit and used the Puda Vida channel is more of my travel channel versus just my everyday fun, living the life, adventure video blogging as I have done in the previous past. So expect more videos if you want to know how traveling is going, or you got any questions, want to keep up what's going on. Just look on the Puda Vida channel versus the Love and Freedom. I'm kind of trying to, basically form a total different crowd, you know, from my previous YouTube, Love and Freedom. Not saying that I'm, blocking people or getting away from people. I just want to lure in more crowds about traveling in different areas when we're out traveling about. So that's what I mean by that. I get a little bit more, um, I want to say I reach more people when I kind of like put both channels out there and get some travel tips out to certain people. Before I get started, I always want to tell you guys I am not a travel expert. I am not a travel agent. I am not a travel guru. At no any point of time am I want to pretend or partake that I am an expert in traveling. I always tell you guys, oh, I let you guys see what we see, and that's basically all we do. And I kind of like to document, memories, build memories. And a lot of people have started to understand how important memories are, uh, from loved ones, grandkids, kids, all the above. I mean, years ago when I started, going on social media, blogging, and all that stuff, I had a lot of backlash from people saying you're always online and all this and all that. Those are the ones that I won't say hating, but just the ones that didn't understand how important, memories are. And some would go and say, hey, uh, blogging, putting all your business out on social media is not good. Business as is what? I don't show you everything that goes on in my household. I don't show you what I ate today, and shit every day. May show you what I eat, but I'm not showing you my shit. So I don't show you every single thing. Yeah, that's just a little humor. But today I just want to talk to you about from the ones that joined me previously the other day on the travel videos on YouTube, no, Facebook. I'm sorry. I want to. I promised you guys I was going to come back and share a little bit more travel tips. This is for people that interested in traveling, getting out, doing something different, seeing something, different in life, and just living. Steer clear of the negativity, being positive in life, but being safe when you do it. So we talked about last time. We talked about passports and being passport ready, or a few things about visa here and there. The different differences in just having passport and having passport card, along with other things, just so you could be prepared. So today I want to just touch bases with you guys, just a real quick moment about traveling and having that extra blanket of security and safety along with you. It's kind of like the old saying where they said, American Express, don't leave home without it. You probably heard people talk about this in the past, or if you maybe you haven't heard people talk about it. For those who travel and travel safely and do it, with caution, because I'm always the type of person that always think, what if? And that comes with, not just military uh, experience and background, but it comes from law enforcement and all that. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. It's not being paranoid about certain things. It's just being prepared, just in case. What if? You know, and it goes fall back about what if we purchase insurance, whether it's vehicle insurance, house insurance, or whatever type of insurance, health insurance, and it's because you are being prepared. You're planning what if. It's kind of like you have that slush money stashed in the back. What if, you know, um, you go, say if you're going to make a small example, you're going to make a run to the market, and let's say the item that you're going to get, um, you already know what the price normally costs, but what if you get there and the price um, has increased? You're gonna take, you're gonna only take what you thought the price was from previously, or are you gonna take a little extra, or have that? You're gonna have the availability to cover what's uh, any additional costs. So it's kind of like, don't leave home without your wallet. uh, just because you're making a quick run to the store and it used to be a certain price, you only going to take that amount of money. No, you're gonna carry the extras security, a blanket to make sure you can cover it. And that's why I'm going today to talk to you about traveling. Make sure you have that protection. And it's like you're stepping out off the plane, you stepping out into this is basically covering like for people that's travel abroad, overseas or whatever. You're traveling to new air, you're traveling to new types of food, you're traveling to new energy. So you want to be prepared. Um, from experience of me traveling, us traveling different countries, Blake, knock on wood that I haven't got real ill from food poisoning or whatever. That could happen, guys. I had a slight touch of food poisoning during our travels. And trust me, you don't want to have none of that. You don't want to be involved in none of that. It could be, ooh, man. I mean, it feel like someone just stabbed you in the gut, and you just don't let up out of the off the shitter. You inside that bathroom. It feel like you're gonna just pain just hitting you like cramp pains, and it's just real bad. It's not a good sign. So having insurance for be prepared for certain things like that, even though you may be in an area where medical attention is low cost for those who come in from the western state, it may cost you a little bit less than what you're used to as a doctor visit in these other countries. And a lot of us going to say, well, hey, I just pay out of pocket. If I get sick, I go to the doctors. And, that's fine too. You can do that as well. But I always encourage you guys, just because, we may be on Medicare, we may have health insurance back home, that stuff don't work abroad. That does not cover you. Um, it doesn't cover you. Um, real quick, I'm gonna acknowledge Kevin Stevens in the chat on Facebook. He said, "Good information for someone that's nicer, traveled abroad before. I'm totally uneducated in this area. That's why I'm here to do this for you. People such as yourself is interested in, or maybe interested in for yourself, maybe someone, loved ones, or someone down the road that may be interested in traveling. I just want to share just some of my experience with you guys." Uh, and enlighten you about just a little few things that I've have gained the knowledge of. Because we all know now, since I've been on a little health journey, health is wealth, and I take it, a little bit more serious than I did in my previous lifetime. So we want to make sure we know Medicare don't cover us. Um, and most private plans in the Western state does not. So what happened if you, such as I just mentioned, you get food poison? Um, Such as myself, I've been, on scooters. You get in a scooter accident, you get an unexpected infection, where you got to pay out of pocket. Um, it can cost, it can add up real quick, whether it's cheap or not. It if you do a private insurance when you're traveling abroad, those things could be covered, such as emergency hospital visits. Uh, let me back up. Let me touch bases on this one real quick while we talk about insurance. The number one thing you want to do when you're looking into travel insurance, um, you want to make sure that travel insurance definitely has emergency evacuations, um, because that is probably going to be one of your biggest costs if you ever had to use that insurance. Emergency evacuation. Um, Emergency evacuation can start out. I guess I think I've seen once before. It can start out as low as 25,000, all the way up to $100,000 for emergency evacuation. You want those insurance to be able to cover emergency evacuation. You want them to have the trip cancellation coverage in there. You want to have the loss of luggage, in case you lose your luggage. You want to cover any, for those junk mile people that don't go to the dentist. Anytime they don't go to the dentist or take care of their dental, you may experience a toothache. You may need an emergency dental assistance, something that matter. So you have to plan. Uh, what if? What if? Guys, right here. I'm sipping. I got some red wine, which I needed for my gut. I haven't had any wine or alcohol in a while now, but this is some red wine. I needed a little wine. Um, but um, you have to make sure that you're covered, point blank. Um, and I'm going to share a few things that I've researched and found, on this trip, when it comes to traveling and travel insurance. Um, let's see, we're headed here in my notes for most of it. Okay, I researched and found our travel insurance. This is not the one we use, but I have multiple. I always get multiple travel insurance because most of the time we don't know how long we're going to be out, or we don't know what location we're going to be at. So I'll try to find a plan that can cover me in that area up to a few months. And then I'll also buy rental insurance, or if I'm going into an Airbnb, I'll make sure I get their insurance on top of that as well. So you're looking at most trips. Um, Insurance can start as low as $40 all the way up to 150 in total, depending on the length of time, like I said, that you're going to be staying there. So you want to check into those. Um, like such here, being here in Hanoi, Vietnam, uh, insurance can cost you, and there's no excuse. Insurance can be as cheap as a dinner, you know. So why not be covered? Why not take that dental, skip one dinner, and get your insurance? That's all you have to do. It can be as cheap as a dinner out, you know. So definitely want to check into that when you're traveling. Um, a lot of Americans, a lot of Western people don't realize that it definitely is excellent when you have private medical care, and it costs a fraction of the cost from the US, so it's not breaking the bank. You're just going to be covered, point blank. Um, when it comes to private insurance in places like this in Vietnam, you get some of the modern private hospitals, especially in this area, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City. I'm not sure about Da Nang, but I know Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi has some of the best private modern hospitals with some of the best doctors that you can get, and it's very affordable, guys. A doctor visit, for an example, a regular doctor visit will cost you about $20 to $50. That's what, excuse me, if you're paying out of pocket, $20 to $50. You say, oh, that's nothing. True, that's nothing. Here's where it gets tricky. Um, ER visit, emergency visit can run you anywhere from $100 to $300. I guess you probably say that's nothing. That is something when you have not planned that in your budgeting when you're traveling. If you're not set up or you're not prepared for that, so the costs can start adding up. You see where I'm going with this? You could start out as a regular visit to the doctor clinic. Then he said, no, you need to go to the emergency room right now. You go to ER. You're already up now a little bit more. Then you get to the ER. They say, we may have to admit you. You might need a surgery. Okay. Then major surgery can start. Of course, it's 70 to 80% cheaper than the US. Of course, we know that. But then you're getting into the thousands. How many of us travel? Uh, I'm not saying those who travel all the time and know this, but on a average, just a normal person that travels, just say you say, okay, well, I'm only going to the Bahamas for a week. Okay, you're only going to the Bahamas for a week, but you don't think nothing can happen. Okay, you see where I'm going with this? You can think nothing can happen, but there is what they call that. What's what they used to call it? Megan's law, or whatever. What can happen will happen, or whatever. What happened can happen will happen, or whatever. However it goes, but you have to be prepared. How many of us take emergency money with us? I'm talking about not talking about emergency money to go shopping, but you have that money set to the side just in case. And it's a lot harder on me because I don't just travel alone. I travel with my significant other, and I have to make sure I'm covered, they're covered, and all the aspect is covered. I have to have it planned out, guys. Traveling is just not as simple as just jumping on the plane and go. I have to make sure I know if something happened to me and I can't talk and she have to be the one to take over, or vice versa, something that happened to her. I have to be ready to implement that and put those plans in place. So it's a lot of work when traveling, guys. It ain't just jumping on the plane and go saying you got $1,000 in your pocket and you good to go. It don't work that easy. It works. It works for the most part because the Most High watches over us. But God forbid, if accident happens, we have to be do our part. So it's definitely can be a headache if you're not ready for this. Um, Other thing I want to talk about, I want to give you guys some scenarios, or I want to give you guys some price base on certain countries that we visit. I gave you a breakdown of the cost that it would cost, like in Vietnam, and of course Vietnam is going to be a little cheaper than Mexico, and it's going to be a little cheaper than Mexico, but Mexico has some high quality providing hospitals in major cities. But what if you're not in a major city and you need to be evacuated to get to a bigger city? So you have to be planning for that as well. So you just have to make sure you check each area you go into to see what's there for you and what's available to you. But do your due diligence on your own part to make sure you find out that travel insurance has an evacuation um, part on their insurance that is included. You don't want to get no insurance if it don't have evacuation in their plan. Point blank. I don't care if people gonna say my first thing is my luggage. If I lose my luggage or trip get canceled, yeah, that's all fine. But you want to make sure it has the evacuation in that um, package. Most definitely, you want to have it in that package. Um, I want to go down the list real quick. I want to say you want to make sure you have. I did my little notes here. You want to make sure you have, you know, for people that's long term travel, such as myself. I do. When we travel, we stay weeks to months at a time in these places. So paying in cash is low cost in countries for minor care. Yeah, you could do that. Um, but Carry emergency funds, as I said before. You want to carry emergency fund. Only buy evacuation insurance, as I reiterated earlier. Um, if you're going to do outdoors activities or do any activities, you definitely want to make sure you have those areas covered. If you're going to ride a scooter, such as my dumb, fat, old butt do, you want to make sure you have that covered. If you have any, this is for the people that has any pre-existing um, conditions. Thank God I don't have any of that. You want to make sure you leaving home and you know darn well you have pre-existing medical problems. You definitely want to get your insurance. You definitely want to be covered in that aspect. Um, and for those who travel frequently, such as myself, that's why I'm talking about this, because I know I have to um, have my insurance uh, on deck. Now, for the most part, for the last couple of years during traveling, I used to always just use Airbnb's insurance, which you can get with your Airbnb. For those who want to book through Airbnb, they have the options to add the insurance to your rental, and I mean, it's very reasonable. But I found out that that insurance did not include evacuation. I could be wrong if they went and changed that, but my last research, the Airbnb insurance did not really cover evacuation. And they do have just Airbnb insurance where you're just covering the people's stuff in the apartment or wherever you house you're in. You have to make sure that it includes medical, not just lost luggage, stolen property, trip delays. You got to make sure it has evacuation number one. You got to make sure it covers medical. And there are some very reasonable travel insurance out there, guys. So don't think that you got to have a whole lot of money to travel. You got to have a whole lot of money to get insurance. You just have to plan and be prepared. Like I told you guys before, most of the time our trips are planned months, sometime a year in advance. It's kind of like you always used to always wonder back in the days when you were younger, probably, how do people always go on vacation every year? Because those people plan their vacation, and planning is paramount. I used to never plan, and it used to cause me a lot of stress. It used to stress me out. Now that I slowed down and able to grab my thoughts, isolate myself, put myself in an area where I can have time to focus and think and not be rushed to do anything. It taught me to be able to check do check and balances of everything about traveling. Taught me a lot. Some of it was taught by trial and error, but a lot was, checking people that travel frequently and checking to see the things that they did or the experience that they went through, to make sure that I was dotting my I's and crossing my T's by learning from some of their uh, mistakes. And like I said, we don't take L's very seldom. Seldom. We don't take L's pretty much never when we travel. Knock on wood. I hope we don't. We had small little hiccups where it may cost a little extra, but as far as anything that was detrimental or something that was very that put us in a real setback or whatever situation, no, we don't do that. Um, we don't try to go out and be like the tourists, get out there and splurge and jump on the first thing we see. Because when you're traveling, tourism is totally different when than traveling. A traveler uh, will get out there and see what's there, check with the locals, spend their time researching, and a tourist would just jump out there and go to the areas well the tourists hang out and take the first thing that's presented to them without doing their research. So it can make a difference. It can make a difference. So if you're planning on traveling, going abroad, or doing any traveling moving forward, I don't care if you plan on going out of the country for a day, make sure you're covered because anything can happen. Anything can happen. And make sure, number one, that they have evacuation coverage on their insurance. Um, so, I mean, that's basically what I wanted to talk about on this live real quick because I was only going to just share it with Facebook like I normally been doing, but someone asked me, uh, can I move it over to YouTube and talk a little bit when I do go live again for Facebook? But I know I have a lot of family members and friends that watches me on Facebook, and basically, um, I wanted to get this information out to those that's interested in traveling or have recently started traveling, or maybe they've always traveled, but they never thought about travel insurance. And as I told you guys before, I'm always available um, from an email, or if you're on Facebook, send me a message, ask you questions. I'm a very humble person. Um, some people call me an introvert. I may not hang out with people, but I do like helping people. That's one of the things I like doing. I like helping people. I'm not a gatekeeper. I try to share as much as I can to help the next man or woman that may, be in need of information. You don't have to be scared to, ask me questions, or advice or anything. I'm not the type of person that think I'm better than the next man or woman. I'm just a person that's trying to live my life and enjoy this thing they call life while I have the opportunity. But I am trying to prolong my life. That's why I've started health as well. You know, um, I like to toot my own horn, as they said, toot toot, and thank the Most High for allowing me an opportunity to be here to see another day. Each and every day is a blessing. Um, provided me uh, great things in my life. I've been short of a lot of things, but I have gained a lot more, as I want to say. Um, he blessed me with more than I deserve, and I'm going to be grateful for that all the time. So reach out to me, guys, if you're interested in traveling, knowing a few things. Like I say, I don't have a travel. I'm not a travel advisor. I'm not a travel expert. I'm just a great, good-hearted brother and sister from the most spiritual uh, guy that we know. So I'm willing to help. I'm willing to share my information, share my light with those who really interested in traveling and want to know how to do it, or may not have the courage to ask someone else, or may not have the time to do their own research, or may not know where to start looking for it. But just come to me. If I don't know the answer, I'll. Those who know me know if I don't have the answer, I'll get back with you on a later time. I'll do the research for you because that's what I love to do. I love to share knowledge. I'm like a sponge, as I used to say when I was in the Marine Corps. I used to hang with none but higher ranking Marines, whether it was staff NCO or whatever NCO before it was an NCO uh, officers. I used to hang out just so I can gain that knowledge and be able to pass it on. I'll soak up that information because in the long run it's going to be, and then I'll be able to pass that on to someone else that may be in that hard. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm still in Vietnam. I mean, my internet normally don't do this to me, but I guess when you start, uh, the devil tried to block the blessings, all the time. So, but reach out to me, guys. I guess that's a sign to tell me to zip it and let you people enjoy your rest of your day. It's currently 2 a.m. over here on Friday morning in Vietnam, and they getting ready to start their New Year's over here, what they call Lunar New Year, and that starts on February the 17th over here. And they New Year's, they get, I think they last like 12 days, 10 to 12 days, where everybody go back to their origin of hometown and stay 10 days from work. They go home to their origin of hometown on Lunar New Year, and it lasts 10 to 12 days. So starting on the 17th, basically this weekend, they're going to start, and it's going to be celebrations for Lunar New Year. And it's going to be different. I have never experienced any New Year's in Vietnam, but it's been some nice people that I've been dealing with, as far as my physical therapist and my spa treatments and body contouring treatment. People, they enlightened me on a lot of things about Vietnam that I didn't know previously. And I was adopted into the Vietnam culture. I was given my nickname in Vietnamese. My, they call me Michael Long, like Long, Long, but Long is like dragon. So I'm Michael Dragon. You know, when they address me now, that's like when you got Long, when you got the being nicknamed as Michael Long, it's like a very respectful, high entity of not an elderly person, but out of respect, they praise you, you know, as wisdom. Michael Long, that's what they call me. So that's that's my Vietnam nickname, Michael Long. And it's been great over here in Vietnam, guys. We do have future plans to maybe even, you know, come back over and settle into Vietnam, but we don't know which part yet. The only thing I don't really like about I love Hanoi, but the only uh, cons about it is their pollution. The pollution is very high. I know you guys see me all the time with my mask on when I'm doing videos or out, whatever. You have to. The pollution here is so bad. It's like smoking a whole pack of cigarettes a day, being out inhaling it, and it's very harmful. So that's the negative. But in the wintertime, it's the worst. So we are in their worst time. That's why I look all foggy, smog, like it's gonna like overcast or whatever. That's just pollution. So that's the only con I have about, you know, being in this area. But Da Nang is pretty. It's an awesome place. We like Da Nang, Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City. I really didn't experience it as much as I would like because I had got sick. I think we called COVID that time we was in Vietnam. I was sick for the whole entire week. And then after that week, my wife got sick. So I had to take care of her. So we spent like 2 weeks in Ho Chi Minh City and was able to get out 1 or 2 days the time we were there. But as soon as she got well, I booked it out of there to get out of the area. So I can't really say anything uh, for or towards Ho Chi Minh City. All I can say is that we're planning on going back to give it another try here in the future, and not um, look down on it any type of negative way. Cambodia is, you know, was great to us. We plan on going back in the near future. All this Asian um, area over here has all been great. Thailand, um, I mean, each his own. I mean, I didn't see anything that was for me because I'm not into that type of life. If you guys been watching videos in Thailand and stuff like that, what's been going on or what people do, that's their business. I'm not here to talk about Thailand or talk bad about any or talk about Vietnam and as a whole, the good and the bad, the pros and cons. I'm just here telling you our experience. And you have to see it and go there to experience to see if it's for you. I can't never tell a person what not to do or what to do, or I can only tell them based on my experience and how we enjoyed it or how we did not enjoy it. But I can always tell people, they always ask me about Jamaica, and that question popped up again uh, yesterday, about Jamaica. I can say Jamaica is very expensive, guys. So don't think people go to Jamaica just because it's cheap. No, Jamaica is not cheap. Jamaica is the culture is awesome. The vibe is awesome, but it's definitely not cheap, and it's not for the weak. Because if you go to Jamaica and you plan on staying more than a couple weeks, be prepared. I mean, I know people go there and stay a week or so, just on the resorts, but Jamaica can be pretty expensive, you know. But for the most part now, none of these places are cheap, not like they used to be. So you have to experience it, travel, and see for yourself, guys. But the video is basically about, make sure you get your travel insurance, make sure you are covered, make sure all your asses are all covered when it comes to insurance. So check out your travel insurance. Check out, there's a lot of companies out there. Check to see who has the one that's going to be right for you, fits your budget, that fits your plans, fits your travel, and fit the things that you need. But the number one thing you need to make sure if you're traveling abroad is that travel insurance have an evacuation plan on that travel insurance. Okay. All right, guys. If you guys don't have any question for me, I didn't see any question in the comment section. I really wasn't watching the comment. I'm sorry about that. But this was just a video to touch bases about travel insurance. If you got any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section below, or you can email me at blackmaninmexico@gmail.com. Or if you're on Facebook watching this, you know how to get in touch with me. All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys watching as always. Until the next one. Bye now. Peace. One love. I'm about to finish my wine, guys.
Yeah. They don't know what it took to get here. USMC wartime grind. Now I roll with peace in my chest. White vet outside, familiar inside. Let's go. I was raised on grit, Marvin life in my blood. Boots laced tight while I marched through the mud. Seen war with my eyes, felt the weight of the fight. Now I ride clean, white Corvette in the light. Freedom ain't cheap, yeah, I paid that due. Now I toast to the skies with my solid crew. From the deserts to the jungle, I seen the globe. But there's nothing like familiar and Carney on the stove. I'm loving freedom, that's my lane, that's my name. Swerve through the pain, now I'm breaking every chain. From the war to the wheels, from the fight to the fam. Now I travel the world with a cross and a plan. I'm loving freedom, can't nobody hold me down. With my wife by my side and my kids in this town. I'm proud of my scars, they tell the real story of a man who stood tall and walked through the glory. Pulling up slow when the vet's so clean. Flags fly high, red, white, and green. We can cookouts, corridos in the air. Tios, primos, abuelas, love everywhere. From Cancun nights to Manila lights, to Rio to Colombia, I earn these sights. A soldier turned father, now I'm preaching peace. But I still got the fire if you wake that beast. Ain't just a dream, it's a legacy I build. Raised on discipline, loyalty and will. Rum simplified, a Sunday carne asada. I'm blessed and I know it, gracias a mi raza. I'm loving freedom, that's my lane, that's my name. Swerve through the pain, now I'm breaking every chain. From the war to the wheels, from the fight to the fam. Now I travel the world with a cross and a plan. I'm loving freedom, can't nobody hold me down. With my wife by my side and my kids in this town. I'm proud of my scars, they tell the real story of a man who stood tall and walked through the glory. This is more than a song, it's a testimony. From the battlefield to backyard grills, from foreign soil to my family's arms. I'm loving freedom forever. Simplify.